Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder. Well, they have answered Ireland's call. Welcome, guys, to the Rugby Connection podcast. Coming off a Grand Slam win, the Six Nations is over. It's me and Murray. Harv wasn't able to make it tonight, but yeah, Murray, how are you doing? And how are you doing after the Super Saturday that we had?
I'm good. Yeah, it was just before we go into the games. It was a very special Super Saturday, regardless of result. It was actually my father-in-law's first ever game at Murrayfield, so he loved every minute of that and took every minute right in. And we love it. I've been very busy boy this week, Cam. I'm exhausted, so I'm glad you're.
You have been a very, very busy boy. Fair play to you. But well, I'll let you talk about that. Obviously, we'll talk about the launch of the next Six Nations as it be, but we'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
Let's just get right into it. The final round of Six Nations 2023 is over. We'll do the games in order, obviously concluding with the big one. Scotland versus Italy. Obviously, Murray, you were there. The scoreline was 26-14 for your boys. A pretty good win at Murrayfield. Like you said, you were there with your father-in-law. Do you wanna take us through it a bit?
Could you think of a better way to end the game?
Oh,
Genuinely.
what a way! That's how you end a Six Nations. That is
how you end the campaign. And it was so good. I mean, again, going back earlier to the game, Duhan van der Merwe. Big man shouldn't fly like that. That's all I'm saying.
He's almost got like a dainty agility to him, like that you would expect from a smaller player. But he's huge.
The fact that when they TMO'd it and they slowed it right down, you could actually see Duhan tuck his legs as if he knew what was going on. I'm like, how do you plan that?
It was a brilliant finish, one of the best finishes you're ever going to see. And Duhan was just all over the place in that game. I felt like, especially like games against France and whatnot, France managed to keep him quiet, but my God, was he causing Italy some problems.
Just ever. And again, this is a thing I've realised, especially this season, he's developed over his game. He's not a winger that stands out on the wing. He will become that like outside or outside centres, I think people refer to, or outside.
That's what I've said it before. Like, I can genuinely see Duhan van der Merwe being a brilliant outside centre.
I say knock it back a bit. Give him a 15 jersey.
You've said it before. Give him a 15s jersey. Just give a big man like that some more space. But I think at that point it'd be classified as cheating. But
one man that stole the show, and it wasn't Duhan.
Absolutely stole the show.
The king.
Another Edinburgh boy, though.
Another Edinburgh boy. Well, we're so good. We love it. The man himself, the one that I think needs to get respect on his name now. Blair Kinghorn. I'm going to put this out there, right? He is not a 10. No. He is not a 15. He is not a winger. He is a hybrid player. You let him do his thing, whether it's 10, 11, 14, 15, it works. Just let Blair, as the kids on TikTok say now, let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook. No, Blair, to be fair, like, he gives me a very sort of a Villy LaRue, maybe a Bowden Barrett type vibe, where you put him in any position. You can put him at 10, you can put him at 15, you can put him at wing. Yeah. It doesn't matter where he plays, he's going to fulfill the same role, essentially. Because any position he plays in, he's always in that position to finish those tries off, no matter where you put him. Yeah. So, I feel like, no, he's not the best 10 that Scotland have. He's not the best 15 that Scotland have. He's not the best winger that Scotland have. But he's the best overall player.
Is he the best hybrid player? Yeah, I would say so.
And his ability to finish tries, I mean, his hat-trick, 3 tries, especially the one at the end, just being able to spot that support line, you could see from the line he was running, he knew, what Duhan was going to do. And he was there. And, a lot of people have been saying all he's good at is finishing tries.
Oh, no.
What's wrong with that?
Oh no, is that all he's good at? I'll take that every day. Thank you. But no, I think this Six Nations has been a good spotlight for Blair's performances.
100%. Coming off the bench, he's been scoring tries. I think he scored a couple, if not maybe 3 tries off the bench.
No, just the one, but it was a big one. The
Was
one
it the
that
one?
sealed the deal against Wales. He finished it
That
against
was
Wales.
it, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, great win by the boys. Italy, I think this was probably Italy's biggest game so far. And I know it sounds really daft in defeat, but they just keep nipping, and
You've got to give it to them. Italy, obviously, they didn't quite pull off the same scenes as they did last year in Cardiff, but I don't think that would have ever happened because the Scotland team is a different animal to what that Wales team was and what the Wales team is now.
Yeah.
But Italy, you have to say they've still progressed. They have stayed competitive in all of their games throughout this tournament. I'm looking at players like Michele Lamro. He is going to become such a leader. He already is such a leader for Italy. Obviously, Ange Capozzo hasn't played the last 2 games, but in the first 3, he was, doing brilliant things from the autumn. He's doing brilliant things. Pierre Bruno, I thought, had a brilliant tournament. Juan Ignacio Brex. These players are putting their hands up and, they're saying, listen, we're here and we're here to compete. We're not going to be pushovers anymore. And it's good to see. And I mean, Christ, up to the wire, up to the, timer, up to the dying minutes. Italy were really pushing Scotland and they were pushing for the win.
I think the bit that annoyed me, obviously you can't hear it in the stadium. It was like, I always do this thing. People are going to think that's weird. I always look back at the highlights because regardless of as good as it is being in the stadium, you don't get to see all the juicy angles. Yeah. That's just how it works. That's just give or take. And when the build up to the winning try, essentially, we won the ball back. Referee went advantage to Scotland, and the commentator went, Scotland will look to kick it out now. Why? No. Why? No. When have we done that? When have we ever done that?
No, I think I think Italy, they still need to work on their execution in general, but especially their execution under pressure. And then on the side of Scotland, I think Scotland have become much more confident in themselves, confident in their game. And sort of, it was almost, I feel like a statement try, that final try, saying, listen, we're confident, we know what we can do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean,
and also, might I just say, shocking that final try wasn't nominated for try of the tournament.
Oh,
we all know which try is try of the tournament, but
we'll discuss the nominations for the official awards after the games. But yeah. But we'll move on because I can talk all day about Scotland. Well done, boys! 3 wins, 3 trophies. Love it. We're on the up.
Next game was the one that probably caught me off guard the most. France versus Wales. It finishes 41-28. France getting a 13-point win over Wales, which is a hell of a lot lower than what I predicted, and I think a lot of people predicted. But Wales came out and, they were giving France a game. I'd say in the first quarter and the final quarter, Wales were right up for it. And in those 2 middle quarters, France were just doing France things, and that's where they got their hefty lead from.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, Wales, Wales struck first with George North, and they didn't really seem to go away. They didn't really seem to go away until that sort of, I'd say, 25th to sort of 50th minute, where France were just playing with them at that point.
That's true. Just a little shout out on the Welsh end. Topi Faletau, 100 caps.
100 caps.
I genuinely believed he had that a while ago. It was a bit of a surprise.
It feels like he has done. When did he make his debut? 2009, I want to say.
No, I think
10.
10, I'll say. We'll say 10.
I feel like 2000. Yeah,
13 years
time ago. And he's been. I mean, Christ, he's been on Lions tours. He has been, a key player for Wales, key player for the Lions, and he's still going, as are, a lot of those Welsh players that are getting on a bit, that he's still playing top level rugby.
I agree with that. But yeah, it was France's day. Again, like you said, wasn't as big a points margin as we thought, but a win's a win. BP win in Paris. And I always think, regardless Wales, whoever it is, a team that has nothing to lose is more dangerous.
100%. 100%.
It didn't work, but still.
Yeah. we saw that, you know, and it was encouraging seeing Wales. This team was definitely the best team Wales have put out all tournament. I understand Warren Gatland was kind of playing with these options throughout the tournament. You definitely got that sense. I mean, it was pretty much a different Welsh team every week.
Yeah.
But no, this final iteration, I suppose it took him till, obviously I'd say the game against Italy was, you know, pretty much the perfect team. A few little changes to this one, but yeah, they were well up for it in France.
No,
but
who was? Sorry, do you know who was? I was just going to move on there. Do you know who was well up for it? Sorry, England. England were right up for that game. Yeah, sorry.
100%. Well, yeah, you know what? Wales, France, brilliant game. Well done, France. Well done, Wales.
Sorry.
The game though, the Grand Slam decider. Controversy, definitely some controversy.
Yes.
And overall,
Great game.
pretty competitive game, I'd say.
Do you think it was a red?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way I saw it, right, technically, going by the rules, it's definitely a red. I fully understand people saying it's just a rugby incident, it's a complete fluke, accident, no intention behind it. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But if a red wasn't given, then, you know, we'd just be going against the rules that are set in place. At the end of the day, both players are upright, and it's an elbow to a head.
See, this is where I was. Like, you see the replay, and you can quite clearly see Freddie Stewart kind of going, "Shit, I need to move." And when you panic, doesn't matter when it's in sport or in life in general, your arms will flail. Yeah. Well, his arms went up and elbow Hugo Keenan, and because of that, it's all right. Put it this way, right? The Stuart Hogg eye injury from the Lions in 2017, when Conor Murray went, sorry. If he was in opposition, that's a red card.
Yeah.
Again, not intentional, total accident, like 1 in a million chance that actually next to someone, but it caught him. Opposition, red card. Yeah. That's how I've seen it.
Listen, it was a difficult decision for Jaco Peyper to make, but I think the red was the right decision. Unfortunately, it's not a good way to end the campaign, and it does somewhat. Well, it definitely affects the game, I'd say. But England with 14 men, they still.
Yeah, I was going to say,
they still were well up for it.
I can't get over this, and it's not even a Grand Slam decider. Just in general, Ireland versus England right now. How weird must it be for Andy Farrell? Because as a dad, you're like, go on, son, that's my boy. But as a manager and a head coach, you're like, get on, do not let him do anything. And you're like, where's the match? Like, I know there was a lot of.
I see it like, I mean, Christ, they're both. How old's Owen Farrell now? 31. You know, they're both adults, and I think I said it in the chat. I think I said, I don't think to Andy Farrell, because he's a proud Englishman. We all know he's a proud Englishman.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think for him, I don't think he feels like he's coaching Ireland. He's coaching a group of players.
Yeah, no,
you know, he's coaching a team, and he's trying to get the absolute best out of the team, which he is.
The frightening bit is, and I don't know if he's just saying this to get some juicy stories coming out, but he said they're nowhere near their potential yet. I beg your pardon.
I mean, honestly, I've said it on here before. I see Ireland maybe having a bit of a dip, but if they keep going forward, then they are going to be a formidable force at the World Cup.
Shall we talk about the nominees for the awards?
Yeah, can do. I haven't got them up, so you're going to have to remind me of them. But
so player of the tournament. 3 French, 3 Irish, no Scottish, no English, no Welsh, no Italian.
I found a bit hard done by that.
I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to sound biased here. If you have Duhan van der Merwe, Hugh Jones, and Finn Russell win the first
Hugh Jones is the only one that I say should definitely be there. Finn Russell also, I feel like, has a good claim. Duhan van der Merwe, he went missing in, I'd say, the French game.
See, I think Damien Pinot, who's nominated, was missing for a fair chunk.
I could agree with that. Pinot wasn't really one that stood out. You know, he still scores tries. He's damn near penal, but
do you know the big omission for me is, and it's mind-boggling to me. I'm not saying he should win it, but the fact he's not even shortlisted is crazy.
Go on.
Johnny Sexton, Grand Slam winning captain, the all-time Six Nations point scorer.
Point scorer, yeah.
It's one of them ones like, who decides this?
Yeah.
Shall we just write? So I'm just going to run through it, and then you can pick yours.
I believe it's Anton Dupont, Ramos, Penno, Mac Hansen, Caelan Doris, and...
Come on.
Is it Van der Fleer?
It's not. See again, World Player of the Year, not nominated. It's Hugo Keenan.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've been full biased. I'm backing my boy. I'm backing my friend.
You're going Mac Hansen, aren't you?
I'm going Mac Hansen because, and it's not if it. Obviously, I love Mac. We love Mac on the show. If you go Anton Dupont, it is the safest choice. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. It's just very, cool.
Yeah.
Hugo Keenan, great tournament, but I think Ramos was better.
Ramos was the best fullback this tournament.
Penno, again, he was very on and off.
Yeah.
When he was on, he was definitely on, but when he was off, he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Caelan Doris is a very good shout.
I would personally pick Caelan Doris purely because I feel like, he's been good for so long, you know, and when you've got a team with Josh Van der Fleer, Peter O'Mahony, and Jack Conan as the other back rowers, essentially.
Yep.
You know, to stand out, you've got the World Player of the Year and then two other players who are world class. To stand out that much, you know, fair play.
And then Mac Hansen scores for fun. I mean, we talked about last week the turnovers he was getting.
That's what I was going to say. I don't even think the justification for him being player of the tournament is from his tries. I feel it's just from his work rate and doing things that wingers just shouldn't be doing.
No, that's true. I completely agree. And I love you, man. Try of the tournament.
I'm already decided. You know what I've decided, but go on.
I think we've all decided. So I'm going to read it bottom to top, the way they've written it. So you have Damien Pinot versus Wales.
Yeah. Very good, well teamwork try.
Damien Pinot versus England when he just had
another very well worked try.
Pierre Bruno's interception versus Ireland.
Yeah, individual brilliance. Got Italy back into the game.
Damien Pinot's try versus Ireland. So there's 3 Damien Pinot tries out of 6.
Yeah, all good tries, all very good team tries.
Hugo Keenan versus France with the lovely Finlay Bellum flick. I love that.
Yeah.
And the one that essentially started it all, this campaign, Duhan van der Merwe versus England. First round, we don't know what we're expecting, and Duhan just parts like the Red Sea and keeps going with his shoe untied.
Hold my biltong. And then he just goes. Yeah, it's Duhan van der Merwe's first try. It is.
Yes, 100%. That's why you're being biased. They're all great tries, all very well deserved.
100%.
But the fact that was like essentially the first try of and it got the world talking.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen a few people saying, it's more so England's shoddy defence.
No.
I don't care.
Question, and I'm not comparing the two in no way, shape, or form. They're totally different. Are you trying to tell me that the famous Lomu try when he ran over 6 English players? Is that?
I mean, that was pretty poor defence. I mean,
but is
any try like that, any try when one player just runs through a complete team, of course it's going to be poor defence. It's terrible defence.
Any try is poor defence. If you can see
exactly, but you know, he takes the pass from Stain. He's midfield. His vision, just his ability to see the space, and he just goes for it, and he backs himself, and it works.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah,
Duhan van der Merwe versus England. Yeah.
Before we move on, because there's actually more rugby to talk about.
Yes.
Shall we just quickly grade each team with it. You don't have to go into deep depth about it. Just quickly
100%,
grade
yeah.
and your player of that team. So
Okay.
we'll start with all your 6 first, Cam.
Okay, so I'll start at the bottom of the table with Italy.
Yep.
I would give Italy a solid C.
Yeah.
So, you know, a C, C plus maybe, probably just a C. Italy's best player, Lorenzo Cannone. I think it was his breakthrough tournament. He was good in the autumn, but, you know, to show up to a Six Nations and really, really cement yourself as a world-class 8, and he's still got plenty to progress. So, yeah, Italy get a C, and Lorenzo Cannone is my player of that team. Wales, I'm probably going to give Wales a C, maybe a C plus, just towards the end of the tournament, getting a win against Italy and putting up a performance against France. Listen, Wales started the tournament, and if they continued that form from the start of the tournament, it would have been like a D, maybe like an F. But they did bring it back. They started to find their feet slightly. Best player, this is a tricky one, but personally, I'm going to go with Rio Dyer, another player who properly made a breakthrough. He pretty much held that starting jersey throughout the whole tournament, and he scored a good few tries in losing efforts anyway. So yeah, Rio Dyer, I think he's going to be something special for Wales. England, I'll give England a C plus. Same as Wales, I'd say. Obviously, they had some pretty crushing defeats. But ultimately, very similar stage to Wales, sort of rebuilding, starting from scratch almost. Player for England, it's between two. It's between Ludlam and Chesham for me. I'm gonna go Ludlam actually, because I think we had this discussion that Chesham sort of went missing a couple games, but I thought Ludlam played very well throughout the whole tournament. And you know, in a back row for England, which I think has been looking for his type of player for a while, sort of lacking for a while, I'd say. I think he's definitely filled that spot well. Scotland, a solid B plus. You know, they really came into this tournament as strong competitors. The first 2 rounds, they were on fire against France and Ireland, both very close losses. And then just topping it off against Italy, definitely making themselves known in world rugby and showing that they're confident in themselves. The player for Scotland, it's got to be Hugh Jones. Easily Hugh Jones. I think Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones are the best centre pairing of this tournament, maybe arguably the best centre pairing, you know, definitely could be said in the world right now. Yeah, you know, for a player to come in and take away a starting jersey from Chris Harris, and no one's talking about Chris Harris anymore, so it just, you know, and he's a world-class player, so it just shows that Hugh Jones is doing a good job. France, I'm going to grade them the same as Scotland, a B plus, tilting towards an A. I thought in the first couple of rounds, I feel like France were finding their feet. They were, you know, not on top form throughout the whole tournament. In that last game against Wales as well, I feel like they were, you know, going back to struggling with discipline. Definitely giving away far more penalties than we're used to. I mean, even Sean Edwards came out and said, you know, far too many penalties are being given away. But, you know, with performances like 53-10 over England, you can't say they had a bad tournament, you know. Player-wise for France, I mean,
don't be boring.
Honourable mention Antoine Dupont. He's always going to be there. But for me, Thomas Ramos, I think, you know, he might not be the best all-and-out fullback in the world, but his ability to, I feel like Ramos, Ntamak, and Dupont work so well together. They're all just intelligent, creative players, and it just, you know, makes France do what France do. And, you know, Ramos scored a good few tries this tournament. So, yeah, I'll go with Ramos.
Huh?
And Ireland, A. You know, you've got to rank them solid A plus. They were absolutely dominant throughout the whole tournament. They were tested. They were tested by Scotland. They were tested by Italy. They were tested by France. They overcame all the tests. And, you know, Grand Slam champions, best team in the world. It speaks for itself. Player of the tournament for them, I've said it. He was my player of the tournament, but Caelan Doris.
Yeah.
You know, I've explained already why I think he's their best player. So
Italy, I'm going to give them a D minus, and I'll sound harsh. I'm doing it trying based on their standards as well. So it's
yeah, no, fair enough.
So, Italy D minus. I think that could have easily been a C plus if they just finished it.
They just, there were so many opportunities that were missed,
and especially the Wales game, finish it. Scotland, you could even argue finish it as well. But yeah, D minus just for lack of finishing. Player of the tournament for Italy, Sebastian Negri. My God, heart on his sleeve every time. Maybe Federico Ruzza as well. But anyway.
Yeah.
Wales, again, for standard of what you expect from Wales, I'm giving them an E. Not an F. They did get a win. They did. I know it sounds harsh, but I'm trying to be brutally honest.
You are going brutally. You're going far more brutal than me.
I'm going for an E just because before the game was any game started, get us his back. We've done before.
Yeah.
Shut up. Didn't work. You sank hard on that one. There was glimpses. And then you beat Italy somehow. No offense, but Italy really should have won that.
Yeah.
You put up a hell of a fight against France, which nobody expected. So yeah, there was glimpses, but not near enough what Wales can do. So E.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Player of Wales, I'm going Rhys Webb. Age is just a number, like a fine wine, and he's back to starting. We love it.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, he was talismanic in the two last games for Wales. So
England, D plus. I'm going to go for a D plus, just because again, I know it's a new coach, so you kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt there. New setup, lots of fresh faces, which was actually refreshing to see from an England team.
Yeah.
But again, because it's new, it's not quite clicking yet. It's going to click. I can guarantee it's going to click. Player of the tournament for me in an England top is Jack Willis. I think.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think people forget he's been out injured for 2 years with a serious knee injury. Straight back into the starting 15, turnovers, and he only plays about 50, 56 minutes a game. Doesn't play the full 80, and yet he's dominating status.
I mean, the amount of tackles he managed to get in one half rugby, I think it was 24 tackles in one half.
He loves it.
Who does that?
He's gets stuck in. Yeah, Jack Willis for me. Scotland. I'm going to agree with your gradient. I'm going to go B plus. Because again, we were there, we were competing. I'm trying not to sound full bias. I promise I'm not trying to sound full bias.
I feel like just a few pressure moments got to you in the big games.
I think the France one with a very early red card. Again, I know we pushed it back and got all on there, but again, just we're there. We are there. If we just tweak those little things, we're off to the races. But I mean, I could say happily, oh no, the two best teams beat us in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And like we beat England again. I love it. I'm never going to get bored of that.
Thrashed Wales.
Biggest win ever over Wales, and showed Italy who's boss at the end of the day.
Literally at the end of the day.
About 15 seconds ago, yeah. Player of tournament for Scotland. See, I'd like to get maybe an honourable mention to Matt Fagerson, just off the tackling alone.
100%. Absolute tackling machine. I believe the top tackler in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, going into round 5,
if not one of the highest.
Yeah, I mean, he was just fantastic. But I'm going to go not for Hugh Jones. I love Hugh Jones, but I don't think he gets enough credit.
I know who you're going to go with.
Who am I going for?
Huh?
Who am I going for? I want to hear you think.
I feel like you're going to go for Finn.
I'm not going for Finn. I love Finn.
Are you going to go for Ben White?
I am.
Ah,
very similar to what you said about Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones kept out British Irish Lion Chris Harris. He had Ali Price off
He
the
literally
bench.
benched Ali Price.
Same Ali Price that started the test matches in the Lions.
Yep.
And you know what? It's going to make both players greater. Because
100%.
I feel like Ali, and again, I would probably been the same, get complacent. There's not competition. Ben White, straight in. No, this is mine, pal. And now Ali's like, well, hang on, wait a minute. Why is this? And even off the bench, Ali was phenomenal.
To be able to have two players in any position, or multiple, should I say, players in any position who all want that starting jersey is very healthy for the team as a whole.
I'm just going to throw three names out there and their counterparts, because Pierre Schumann, Ben White, and Hugh Jones have all kept British and Irish Lions out the team.
Yep.
Owen Sutherland made one appearance off the bench, and that was against Italy. Ali Price, I've just mentioned him and Ben White. Chris Harris, coming off the bench every time. And that's if need be, because Hugh Jones has just been there and present, making man. Yeah, so fair play to the boys for keeping the Lions out. But yeah, player of the tournament for me is Ben White. France, I'm going to go B-. I know that sounds stupid considering they finished higher. But again, they're standards, Grand Slam champions last year.
Yeah, I understand what the standards there, yeah.
Coming in to host a World Cup this year, they're favourites, they've got it already won. But then the discipline let them down at the first. The Italy game was poor.
Yeah.
It was horrific.
Very. It was a game that you thought maybe Italy could win.
Yeah, their discipline nearly cost them against Scotland. I think if the margin wasn't two ahead of Wales could have probably clung on to that.
Yeah,
they were scoreless in the second half against Ireland. I think people forget that. But yeah, it's still a great tournament, big wins.
100%, yeah,
but not to what they would want. So that's why I'm giving a B-. Player for France. Again, I'm not going to Pont because safe choice. He's great. We know he's a generational talent.
We know, guys.
We get it.
We know he's the best player in the world. We understand.
I'm going to go for Flamand. Flamand?
Yeah, Flamand?
Yeah, just because me and you talked about it in depth. Like Cameron Woki, big loss. And Flamand just came in and went...
Stepped up and said, hello.
Is it a loss, though? I'm here. Hello. Crack on. And then, 100%. If you score 2 tries against England, you're right up in Scotland's good graces, so there you go. Ireland, A+, Grand Slam.
Exactly, yeah.
Almost too strong at times. They just...
Yeah. That first game against Wales, I think, just typified what Ireland were set out to do, the Six Nations.
Yep.
To go to Cardiff, granted a weaker Wales squad than we're used to, and do that.
Yeah.
Just bully the hosts in Cardiff.
Even the Scotland game, I know I'm rambling a little bit, I apologise. Yes, it was tight, but the minute Gibson Park returned, you just see, it's almost like you could physically see the dial just getting turned up a little bit. And that ruck speed is 1.8 seconds on average for ruck speed.
The thing is, everyone was talking about Gibson Park before the tournament being, he is the reason that ruck speed is so fast. But Conor Murray can do it as well. Conor Murray was, I think, obviously Gibson Park was out for the first few games, but fair play to the old bloke. He can keep up with the young lads, can he?
Player of the round. He's my player of the tournament. He's my boy. He's my bud. He's my chum. He's the model in a white scrum cap. He's the F-bomb machine.
The F-bomb machine, 100%.
It's Mac. Again, not for his tries. Wingers
work great.
Wingers shouldn't work that hard.
No. Wingers should not be winning turnovers. Simple.
Winning turnovers. His bomb disposal under the high balls.
A very underrated kicking game as well.
Very under. I think it's because you've got James Lowe.
Yeah, you've got the likes of James Lowe and Hugo Keane in that team as well. So,
really, didn't put a foot wrong this tournament.
No, I'd agree.
Maybe one, and is when DuPont just stopped him dead.
I can't think of many Irish players that really put a foot wrong this tournament.
No. I would like to just praise Sexton because somebody has to. How's he not shortlisted? But
Johnny Sexton is going to go down as one of the best fly halves in history.
If
I think regardless of whether they win the World Cup or not, John Sexton will go down as not the best, maybe not even top 3, but as one of the best fly halves.
For me, right now, he is top 5 all time ever.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
If he gets Ireland to lift that Webb Ellis Trophy, he'll go second all time for me.
After Carter.
After Dan Carter. You could argue Sexton, Wilkinson, blah, blah, blah. Dan Carter's not in that discussion.
He's clear. We all agree that Dan Carter is clear.
And I love Wilkinson. That sounds mental for me to say that I'm Scottish, but I love and adore Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah.
If Sexton can take that to World Cup glory, and I feel that team could, he epitomises what Wilkinson's ever done. Because if you then do the comparisons, then you would have, they both got a World Cup, both World Player of the Year, and then it gets down to, oh, look, more Champions Cups, more, and longevity comes into it, and
But I mean, ideally for you and me, Ireland get knocked out in the pool stages. So,
I don't care if it's Ireland or South Africa. One of you have to go. That's it.
Well, it's not going to be South Africa, so, one of you have to go.
That was the Guinness Six Nations, and what a tournament it was.
Massive congratulations to Ireland. Under 20s as well, got a Grand Slam. Just a little shout out for them.
First ever nation to do both
2 Grand Slams
in the same year. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So we just stick with the Six Nations team very quickly. Because
do you want to talk about your adventure?
I shall, but for those that don't know, there is no rest for the wicked this year. The Guinness Six Nations literally just finished, and this weekend is the TikTok Women's Six Nations.
Bam.
Love it. There's no messing around this year. But for those that don't know, I'm a TikToker for a start. Most of my stuff is on TikTok, as with Cam. And I got an email 2 weeks ago saying, we'd love you down in London for the TikTok Six Nations launch. And I was like, right then thinking nobody would have
spam.
I genuinely believed it was spam. I ignored it for about half an hour. I thought it was one of those like £700 being withdrawn from your Amazon account rubbish.
Yeah.
So, but no, I read it. It was actually our lovely co-host Jemma that recommended me. So thank you, Jemma.
Shout out to Jemma. Shout out.
I love you so much. Went down. I got to interview the captains, which was, they weren't all captains, but still great achievement. I love every minute of it. I sat down with Rachel Malcolm, Scotland captain, Alex Matthews, one of the best players in the Red Roses, Nicola Friday, captain of Ireland, Sylvia Tirani, she might now be my rugby crush. She is lovely. And she's an Exeter chief as well, so bonus points there from Italy. Audrey Forlani. Now, there was a language barrier there, but again, she was lovely, and she did seem happy to be there for the most part, but the translator needs to understand me a bit better, because I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't her fault, wasn't my fault, but the translator didn't help that situation. And Hannah Jones of Wales. It was just so good. And then, there was 2 out of 3 Rugby Connection there. There was myself, Jemma, who I've already mentioned, and Anja was there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All fun. Just, it's so good. I've got this lovely...
You've got the merch on.
I've got the merch.
You did get merch. I'm jealous of your merch.
We all joked about stealing a ball, and TikTok were that lovely. We got a ball. So...
It's a lovely ball.
I'm not showing all the merch because that's kind of all stashed away somewhere. But yeah, lovely day. And I can't go into too much detail, but there's definitely more to come. And I cannot wait. So this weekend, TikTok Six Nations begins. And we're just going to do predictions because obviously it's round 1. Starting with a banger in Cardiff Arms. Wales take on Ireland. Oh, can't wait. It's going to be so good. And they're both pushing for a point to prove. Bear in mind, Ireland were not in last year's World Cup.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and go pod bias. We've had 2 Welsh girls, so I'm gonna go Wales. It's in Cardiff. It doesn't matter, men, women, under 20s. Cardiff is a hard place to go. I'm gonna go Wales by 6. Nice tight banger to start.
Wales by 6. I was gonna go by a bit more.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I was gonna say Wales by 15.
Oh, I like it.
I think the Welsh girls, they showed some grit at the World Cup.
Yep.
And I feel like at home, you know, they're just gonna show even more grit. And yeah, I'd love to see, you know, the Welsh men's side not doing so well. So come on, ladies, show them how it's done.
Come on, let's go, girls. Take a seat, because the girls are going to show you how it's done.
100%.
The big one.
The next one.
It's at Kingston Park. It's in Newcastle, which I love. It's not too far away.
Interesting. Okay.
The defending Grand Slam champions, the Red Roses of England, take on the old enemy in Scotland.
Oh, it's a big task for your girls.
It is. I'm excited. I'm backing my team.
Yeah,
that's the rule.
That's back your team.
That's the rule. By 1, and I genuinely mean by 1. It will be historic. I'm still learning about the women's game. We're always learning here. As far as I'm aware, we've never done it.
Yeah.
Unless when women's rugby first started in the 90s. That's mind-boggling to me as well. That the first men's cap for Scotland was 1871, and the first women's cap was 1991.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, back to team. Scotland by 1. Let's go for it. We're all professional now, so.
Exactly. I don't have to back your team.
You don't have to
yeah, it's the Red Roses. I mean, that's like saying it's the All Blacks, the 2015 All Blacks. It holds the same weight. It's the Red Roses.
They never won a World Cup, though. Sorry, that was harsh. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. It's
Say it. Just come on, rip the bandage off.
I'm gonna say the Roses by 20.
Okay, that's actually right. That's not as bad as I thought you were. That's fine.
No, I wasn't gonna go too bad. I was thinking about it. I was thinking of going a bit lower, but I thought 20. I'll go 20. It's the Red Roses, man.
I would take that, to be fair.
I feel like they would beat the majority of men's teams.
Oh, they would. 100%.
100%. Like
Marley Packer running over, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scrum half. I'm not trying to label him, but you know what I mean.
Marley Packer running over Nick White. We love you, Nick, friend of the show. But
but yeah, yeah. Oh, Red Roses are fantastic, but we're going to move on there. On to the Sunday game, Italy versus France.
This is going to be a cracker.
It is, because Italy beat France in the summer at the World Cup.
They did.
I'm saying they do it again.
I'm backing my team now.
Oh, are you Italian?
I've adopted Italy as my Six Nations. I know you and Harv tried to make me take Wales for the men's Six Nations, but for the women's Six Nations, I'm having Italy, and you have nothing to say about it.
I'm fine with it. We're all happy.
Yeah, Italy by 3. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, I'm gonna. France are pushing for that title. They are. That's their whole mindset. But they are missing some big names.
Italy to win the women's Six Nations.
It could happen. They finished like 3rd a few years ago.
Too right. It could happen. Come on, ladies.
I'm going to say Italy. I'm going to go Italy by 4.
Yes.
Purely for my love for Silvia Cirani. That's purely what this is down to. But yeah, there has been other rugby as well. Shall we go right across to the other side of the world?
Yes, please, because I have thoroughly enjoyed this round of Super Rugby. I'm paying a lot more attention to Super Rugby this year than I have done in previous years. Last year, I sort of watched it in the background. This year, I'm hooked.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start on the Friday. Hurricanes versus Waratahs. It's quite a heavy defeat. 34 points for the Hurricanes, 17 for the Tars. A tough journey to New Zealand for them.
Yep.
On the Saturday, however, Rebels actually putting up a decent little fight against the Chiefs. I watched this game, but the Chiefs ultimately far too strong, 44-25. An absolute belter of a game in Auckland, in Eden Park. 28 points to the Blues, 34 to the Crusaders. Yeah, very hard fought battle, and the Crusaders just about come out on top. The most entertaining game, or one of the most entertaining games for me, Brumbies versus Moana Pacifica. 62 points for the Brumbies, 36 for Moana Pacifica. What a belter of a game. And then to wrap up on the Sunday, Highlanders versus Western Force. Highlanders finally getting a win, 43-35 over the Force, and another belter of a game. Reds versus Fijian Drua, 27-24 for Fijian Drua after coming back from, I believe, 24-3. So a massive comeback for the Drua, just couldn't quite get it done. Murray, I know there's one game you want to talk about, and it was probably one of the biggest games in club rugby.
Yeah.
Blues versus Crusaders.
Just 2 moments, one for each side. One, we're going to go for the Blues. Mark Talea's try. Somebody tackle him. He was caught up, and it wasn't quite a ruck, and it wasn't a maul. He kind of got caught between, like, what, 3-4 Crusaders players on the halfway line. It was like proper toddler play. Like, no, get off.
It was like he had oiled himself up.
Yeah, ducked, gone.
Yeah,
I have no words. And then Crusaders went, well, that's cute, holding my beer, because in the second half, Richie Mwanga went for a crossfield kick in his own goal area. It bounced beautifully. And Leicester find that Nuku. See you later, pal. He was away. He was gone.
I think the big players in this game really stepped up, and I think that's what made it such an entertaining game. We'll mention Richie Moore again. I thought he had a brilliant game. I thought he, we all know he's a good player, but he really. Go on.
Look, you were saying about Moana.
Right. He really orchestrated that victory, in my opinion. Mark Talea for the Blues, obviously he's pushing for that All Blacks jersey. He's had it a couple times now. Is it only one cap he had? Was it against Scotland he made his first cap?
Yeah, first cap against Scotland.
Yeah, but he's definitely pushing for that All Blacks jersey. Barrett, Bodie, that is, had a brilliant game himself. Caleb Clark got a pretty decent little try. Finney Christie, I thought performed very well.
How is he Scottish and never got capped? How did that happen?
Unlucky, but I think he needs to be pushing now for an All Blacks jersey. I definitely think he's putting his hands up. I know he's had it, but that starting position, he's putting his hand up for it.
I didn't. So we've been talking about Caden Murley. Like, what does Caden Murley need to get in the England squad? What does he need to do? I'm going to say same question. What does Sean Stevenson of the Chiefs need to do to get an All Blacks?
I just quietly mentioned that man is, and I hadn't really noticed him before now, because again, I haven't really paid that much attention to Super Rugby before. What a game he had!
He's so good.
He's brilliant.
Come on,
All Blacks, put him at 15.
Yes. I'm not against that. I like that.
They seem to refuse to put DMAC there, and they play for the same team.
DMAC's a 10 now. I think you've made yourself a bigger headache now because you've got Moana.
New Zealand have a knack for that, don't they? They love having fly half, fullback. Bodie can do it. I reckon Mwanga can probably do it. DMAC can do it.
But Sean Stevenson's the answer. Let him. Again, we said let him cook.
Let him cook, and then put DMAC at fly half for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to go full. You don't need Barrett or Mwanga for the Uruguay or Italy for the World Cup.
Exactly.
That's not harsh. That's not me being disrespectful. You don't need it. What DMAC would cook
it's just overkill at this point, guys. Come on now. Come on. To be fair, I mean, is Stevenson and DMAC gonna be any less potent? Probably not. They're
It's crazy. It's
But
wild.
anyways,
Predictions.
should we go on some predictions for next week? We will start on the Friday. Crusaders versus Brumbies, the two unbeaten. Crusaders aren't unbeaten. What am I on about? Is Chiefs. Crusaders versus Brumbies, one unbeaten, and the Crusaders.
I feel like the Crusaders they've had that shock loss. They've had that upset. They're sorting their razors like, right, boys, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
It's in Christchurch. Yeah, Crusaders by 12. Sorry, Brumbies.
I'm going to say Crusaders by 4 points. I think the Brumbies are in brilliant form this tournament. They put 62 points on Moana Pacifica. I know it's Moana Pacifica, but still 62 points.
They're all brilliant until you step in Christchurch. That's all.
Unless what happens. See what happens. I'd personally like to see Brumbies to win, because I'd like to see somebody other than a New Zealand team, New Zealand franchise, win Super Rugby for a bit. Tars versus Chiefs.
Chiefs, easy all day.
Yeah.
Chiefs
are on fire this tournament. So yeah, Chiefs by 15.
And my boy plays there as well. Not Mark, my second boy, my other boy, Alec Nankivell, who's coming to the URC next season.
There we are.
Keep an eye on him. Highlanders versus the Drua. Gone Drua, because the Highlanders are gone.
The Drua are cooking something. I'm telling you that right now.
I feel bad.
I say they make the playoffs, you know.
Oh, what a prediction.
I'm going to go do. Honestly, they're cooking something.
Drua by 6.
Yeah, Drua by like 10.
Yeah. Moana Pacifica versus the Hurricanes.
Pacifica at home. They did it last year. In the Hurricanes' backyard.
I want to believe you. I really do.
They're going to do it again at home. I'm going to say Moana Pacifica by 2 points.
Ooh, I'm going to go Canes by 10. And I don't like saying it, but yeah. Rebels versus Reds.
This could be a juicy game, because I feel like the Reds aren't performing to their absolute best, and the Rebels are exceeding what we expected of them, in my opinion.
Fair, yeah.
So I'd like to see the Rebels win.
Do you? Rebels by how many?
Rebels by 1.
Reds by 7.
Fair enough. More likely.
Then last, we've got Blues versus the Force.
Yeah.
The Force
Blues
is not
by 20.
I'll go Blues by 23.
Yeah.
Because it's the Blues.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But I will quickly do Prem predictions. Prem returns. We're just going to quickly dive into predictions just for a second.
Just to finish off.
Premiership predictions. Friday night, Newcastle versus Gloucester.
Newcastle at home. I'll back Newcastle. Yeah. I'll say Newcastle by 5 points.
Fair enough. I'm going to go Gloucester by 8 because all the big boys are essentially back.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't taken that into account, but I'll stick with my prediction.
Saturday, Leicester versus the Bears. Now, the Bears have been absolutely cooking with gas and not stopping.
I feel like Leicester are in some good form as well at the moment, so I feel like this is going to be a good game.
Question is, who would win in a fight, a tiger or a bear?
A bear. Any day of the week.
A tiger? What are you on about?
A grizzly bear, full-grown grizzly bear, would absolutely munch a tiger.
No. But in this case, yes, Bears will win. Sorry.
But no, the Tigers will win. Just kind of switch. No, I'm going to say Tigers at home. I'm going to say Tigers by 5 points.
You know what? Bears have been they've won the last 2 games with a combined of over 100 points. So it's not going to be that bad. Calm down. I'm going to go Bears by 8. Just ring them right down, but they're still going to get a nice win. It's a big one. Saracens versus Quins. It's at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's not at Stonehenge.
Now Harv's not here, so I can support
Quins.
I can support the Quins.
Yeah, I'm not predicting Saracens. Sorry. They probably.
I feel like if Harv was here, I'd predict Saracens just to piss him off.
Come up.
Yeah.
Quins by 3.
Yeah, Quins by 15.
But Saracens will probably win.
Probably.
London
Irish versus Saints.
I'm going London Irish because they'll be hunting after what happened this weekend. Sorry. I'll go into that in a minute. But London Irish, I'm going to go, they're pushing for that top 4 spot and they're playing some beautiful rugby.
Yeah.
London Irish by 9 is what I'm going for.
Yeah, I was going to say Irish by 7 odd.
Fair. Bath versus Chiefs. I don't even know why we're asking this because the Chiefs are going to win by at least 20 because Bath don't win. I also back your team.
No, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be Chiefs by like 2 points because Bath just won't be able to win.
But why? Why can't I ignore that because like I know I'm a Chiefs fan, so I want my team to win. But why can't Bath win a game? Come on.
Who have they beaten this season?
Yes. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
They've beaten someone. I can't remember who.
It was literally
was it Bristol. No, that was like early on in the. Who did they beat?
And doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. But quickly, just before we move on to URC, Exeter Chiefs have won the first silverware of the Premiership this year.
They beat Newcastle, but anyway.
Exeter Chiefs beat London Irish for the Premiership Cup in extra time. It was 17-all, full time, 24-20. The young lads. Guys, silver went to Sandy Park. I love it.
They done it.
I'm so happy. We finally got silverware this year. More than Harv. Sorry. URC's back this week, so we'll just quickly rattle off predictions. Friday night, we have Zebre hosting Cardiff, and I think Cardiff are going to steal it by 11.
I'm going to say this with chest.
Cardiff?
Zebre by 3.
Oh, what? No.
We haven't got long left in the season, so I'm just going to keep predicting Zebre wins until it happens.
Leinster versus Stormers. Is that the RDN?
If anyone can do it. If anyone can do it.
It's
the reigning champions.
I keep forgetting they're defending champions. I said the RDS. It's going to be a Leinster C team by 14. It's stupid.
Stormers by 8.
Ooh, okay. Benetton host.
Support our Cape Town brothers.
Benetton host Lions.
Do you know how conflicting this is for me? My fellow South Africans taking on the best team in the world.
You know
it's going to be Benetton.
Benetton by.
It's going to be Benetton.
13. That's my.
Benetton by 10.
That's fair. We've got a Welsh derby. We have Ospreys versus Dragons, and neither of them are getting in the bloody playoff. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not even near it. But it's in Swansea. I'm going to go the Ospreys by 6.
Okay. I'm going to go, Ospreys by 5.
Ooh.
I don't care.
The big one for me, Connacht versus Edinburgh.
You've got your big guns back, though.
We've got big guns. We've got Steve Diamond in charge as well. I forgot to say this last week, but yeah, Steve Diamond, as of now, is Edinburgh head coach.
Connacht, however, have been tricky at home. They're
missing their big guns because they have that week off. Mac won't be playing. Mac's too busy partying like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely someone to just, party till the week is dead.
Bundy won't be playing for some reason. Byron's out injured.
Finney Beelum.
Partying. Injured. Party and injured, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, this is a prime opportunity. Edinburgh need to get points. I don't think you can. I think you can just about still squeeze a playoff, but
I think we need to win the rest.
You need to win every single game with a bonus point, I believe.
Yeah, let's go for it. Edinburgh by. I'm going to say Edinburgh by 10, and that way Connacht get nothing. I usually love Connacht, but this game it's personal, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Edinburgh, like, what is it? But yeah, I'll give it Edinburgh by 12.
I like that.
Now, I'm actually at the next game.
Are you? Scarlets
I am.
versus the Sharks. Oh my God.
I'm down at Parker Scarlets for a very big moment for me. The very first time I'll be watching the Sharks play live.
You'll love it. If it's based on anything like the Edinburgh Sharks game back in January, you're in for a treat. Maybe they might play their full team. They won't, but
I hope they do because I want to get my jersey signed.
you can still get it signed. But yeah, I don't know why I'm asking you, but I'm going to go Sharks by Sharks by 15. 16, sorry. 16. There we go.
The Scarlets have been very good this year, I will say that, and at home. But if the Sharks come out and play, to their full potential, it's going to be Sharks by 12.
Fair. Munster host Glasgow.
Two teams who are sort of on the up at the end of the sort of tail end of the season, both been performing well.
Yeah. I'm gonna back my Scottish counterparts. I'm gonna go Glasgow. I'm gonna go Glasgow.
I was probably gonna say Glasgow as well.
Glasgow by 6. I think it's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be scrappy, but yeah, I think they can do
it. Glasgow by 10.
Oh, fair enough. Ulster versus the Bulls.
It's gonna be Ulster, isn't it? The Bulls, we know they don't travel too well. The only time they travel well is when it's in a semi-final and they have to beat Leinster. That's the only time they travel.
Think of it like a semi-final. It's close like a semi-final.
I mean, the Bulls, both teams are pretty much guaranteed to make playoffs.
I'm gonna go Bulls by 2.
Unfortunately, I can't back my South African brothers here because I do believe it's going to be Ulster. I suppose I'm backing Dwayne Vermeulen. It's going to be Ulster by 15 plus.
Ouch. Right. Random game of the week.
Okay.
If you've got one.
I
have a few, but I don't know where to go.
I'm going to go to Super Rugby Americas, where the top of the table, the Doggos, 15, beat I believe they are near the bottom of the table, Pampas, 29-11.
It's a tighter game than you'd think, but anyway. Fair enough.
And I didn't even realise Super Rugby Americas was a thing, and I like it.
Yeah,
funnily enough, a team that used to be in the MLR, the Colorado Raptors, now reformed into the American Raptors, are now playing in Super Rugby Americas.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Strange. I'm gonna, you know what? I've been going for Japan for a few weeks, and there has been some juicy storylines there, but I'm gonna go for the Rugby Europe Championship Cup thing, whatever it is now.
Yeah, the lower.
Anyway, Netherlands beat Germany 50-28. Big score. Actually, you know what? Just because Hart's not here, I'm just going to chuck an extra one on. Japan Rugby League 1, the Wild Knights, most known for having George Cruz and Hadley Parks on their team, 61-29 against Mitsubishi. Love it.
I'm going to choose another one then.
Go for it.
I'm going to go to the Curry Cup because a shout out to my hometown boys, the Pumas, getting a win 34-27 over the Lions. We're going to win. I say we in the Curry Cup. Again, I kind of support two teams because the Sharks also compete in the Curry Cup. But if the Pumas or the Sharks win, I'm over the moon. I'm a fence sitter. I don't care. Bite me.
Fair enough. And that's been Rugby Connection. We've smashed. We say goodbye to Guinness Six Nations again for another year.
We say hello to TikTok Six Nations.
I like the fact that they're both sponsored, like both title rights. It's so much easier to keep tabs of.
100%, yeah.
So we've got the TikTok Six Nations starting. We've got URC coming back. We've got Premiership coming back.
We've got European rugby coming back in a couple of weeks, I believe.
That'll be next week's discussion.
Yeah.
We have Six Nations and Champions Cup, Challenge Cup for next week. That's insane. Anyway, we have David Campese interview out. Go and listen to that.
Yeah, really good interview, guys. Definitely go check that one out with an absolute legend of the game.
Very outspoken.
Very
not
outspoken.
Not afraid to say his mind.
But which we love, which is perfect for an interview.
You need that.
Makes it juicy content, guys.
Clickbait the hell out of that one. No, what an honour it was to chat with Campbell. I'm allowed to call him that, which is mental to say that. But yeah, chat with Campbell. There's no guest confirmed for this week yet, but I'm working on it. It's only Monday as of recording, so there's tons of time. And yeah, that's been us.
Cheers, guys.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, so you get first dibs on brilliant jam-packed interviews and episodes like this.
And follow our TikToks, because we promote the page on there. We do our own content. Follow us on Instagram. Just help us.
Social media.
All of it.
Instagram, LinkedIn.
Send
YouTube.
us a letter. Why not?
Who's the letter going to? Me or you? Or Harv? Or Jemma? Or Anja? Whose address is it going to?
Whomever you decide.
I'm not comfortable just posting all 5 addresses online, but yeah. Harv, Cam works in a post office, so it's probably better to send it to him. There you go.
I'll set up an RCP PO box.
At your work.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That means all the goodies is going to Cam, but yeah. Yeah, Rugby Connection Podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere. And there's just more coming. Just hop on board. Just run and catch this trend, because we're not slowing down for anyone, and it's just going to be bigger and badder and better every week. Actually, next week, big news, sorry, before we finish off. We're not doing 2 Props 1 pods right now. We are merging. We are combining. So next week, it'll be myself, Cam, maybe Jemma, might be Anja, it might be myself, Harv, Jemma, or Anja. We don't know. We'll see.
Exactly.
We'll keep everyone guessing. But yeah, this has been Rugby Connection Podcast, and we will see you next time.